What do you got? What do you got?
You know, when I think back on all the controversies over the years, all the arguments we've had,
Mm-hmm.
I think I got it all wrong because really all I needed to say was, "Hey man, there will be those who say that they won that argument, but really they won, but so did I." We both won. I didn't lose. I'm not slowly melting and turning into
Corn cob.
a corn cob. God bless Wizards of the Coast for adding the DLC to the story from last week, because we did our best, and I tried to talk about what was happening with OGL, and
Complicated.
it was complicated, but I think we got the gist of it correct in that their open game license was essentially going to be updated to force all people to basically concede ownership of their property in tabletop derivative form. And, they were going to just try to roll out this new system that would get them paid. Well, obviously, the backlash was very, very loud. And prior to this actual update, Wizards of the Coast employees leaked to the internet that, hey guys, they're still considering doing all of this. They anticipated some backlash.
Not this much.
But their whole thing is, as long as the subscription numbers to their D&D Beyond program don't go down, it's considered a win. So they wanted to basically just be like, we'll ride it out. Everyone will get upset, but as long as our subs stay high on specifically D&D B, it's gonna be fine. And
The
then
reason for that was because the suits were only looking at financial data that they could get like on a week-to-week basis in every meeting. Nothing more nebulous than that. And the only data they could get week-to-week, day-to-day was the D&D Beyond. So they look, it's fine. The numbers aren't down. Well, this leaker said, "Hey, did you know you could hurt them by canceling your D&D Beyond subscription?"
since that's the only numbers they're looking at,
Well,
and
guess
everyone
what?
went, "Oh, okay." So yeah, fast forward a little bit, and all of that has obviously imploded to the point where they're like, okay, fine, we concede, we will delay this update, and they've come out with their statement explaining that yeah, they're gonna try
We
to
rolled a critical miss. We rolled a 1 on that.
yeah, and so. And so the phrasing, which I got it right over there.
I'm just
Where'd it go?
scrolling
Where'd it go?
backwards.
Where'd it go? And there it is. Okay. So, now a couple of last thoughts. First, we won't be able to release the new OGL today because we need to make sure we get it right. But it is coming. Second, you're going to hear people say that they won and we lost because making your voices heard forced us to change our plans. Those people will only be half right. They won, and so did we.
So did we. So
The pettiest official statement I have ever heard. I want to say, like, from a corp, that's the pettiest I think I've ever heard. Incredible.
every single
Unbelievable.
part of
5-star.
So I want to point out every single part of that statement is a lie. There were versions of that new OGL that went out alongside contracts. Like that thing was being signed on. Like, as you can expect, this has solved nothing, and numbers still go down. And while this has been ongoing, Paizo, the people behind Pathfinder and Starfinder, and who also happen to be the people who wrote the original OGL at Wizards of the Coast, have gotten their lawyers and have teamed up with Kobold Press, every other third-party tabletop thing, and they're going, we're going to make all of our open game license, and we are going to rewrite everything, not use D&D anymore, and you're going to be using our shit. And also, we are going to fight Wizards of the Coast till they die in court if need be, because the Pathfinder Paizo one is extra crazy because it's the lead designers who were at Wizards of the Coast when it was written who came up with the idea, and the law firm working for Paizo contains the lawyer who drafted the OGL for Wizards of the Coast. Going, yeah, no, I didn't write it that way.
Interesting.
You can't do that.
Interesting. Okay. It has just come to my attention. I did a quick scroll, and it appears that Wizards of the Coast's quote has not yet been tagged on Scrub Quotes, so I just made sure to go rectify that by tweeting at Scrub Quotes. Good.
It is a wild and rare situation where a legal dispute somehow manages to involve the person who wrote the comment
to
being
begin
argued with.
And what's crazy too is I've seen people bringing up the fact that like when it comes to like Hasbro, like they've been wildly lenient in other cases, like with Transformers. There's people that literally just sell Transformers that don't have the name of the like, it doesn't say Decepticon or you know Autobot. It doesn't have the name of the robot, but it's identical as a figure, and they've let people get away with that for years, you know. So it's just different branches being weird about it, and obviously Wizards trying to figure out how to squeeze whatever they can out of the situation. Yeah, the people who are, when you see that type of statement after the type of week they've had, it tells you something about the character of the boardroom.
Oh, I have a small detail being brought forth from a gentleman in chat. They work at they run a game store. Can't even order Pathfinder core rulebooks. They're sold out nationwide.
How about that?
This is a really crazy, silly one because like D&D and Pathfinder and all that are direct, highly similar competitors. So it's much like the video game industry where if you something, there's somebody who is just like you.
Right, waiting over
ready
there.
Ready to swoop in by doing nothing.
Yep. You drop the ball and we're ready to pick it back up for whoever's ready to spend their money. Also, a solid amount of people wrote in to talk about how sick GURPS is. So now there's that.
GURPS is cool.
Now there's that world.
People who love GURPS are GURPS for life. I do think the funniest part about this, I saw somebody who tweeted at me, which was like, Dungeons and Dragons and Wizards of the Coast decided that they were going to embark on some like draconian rules-based malarkey with the most anal retentive rules-based community that exists. Dungeons and Dragons nerds.
Yeah.
Like the word rules lawyer is invented for D&D.
Also,
what a bad mismatch of targets.
Also, as stated last week, we are litigating on imagination.
Yes.
You know, there's still that.
What was the clip title? You owe me 25% of your imagination.
Something to that effect. Yeah. So that's there you go. They're you know, hey, they won, but so did we, right?
No.
Okay.
I would be very, very like I saw Legal Eagle did a video on this, which shows like just how big it blew up. I can foresee Critical Role on their next season using a non-D&D rule set and just everybody just moving it away.
I mean, it doesn't seem like it's that hard to do it.
I mean, as somebody who played Kingmaker, which is a Pathfinder RPG, Pathfinder system's good. And hey, guess what? It's very similar to Dungeons and Dragons. It's highly similar.
I will say this. I mean, D&D is an institution that's been around decades, literally like before we're born type. So in the
Oh,
end,
Critical Role started on Pathfinder. Well,
okay.
well then.
But this is like of all the bit that like has been happening with Wizards of the Coast over the years, where you catch a wind of it, like Magic the Gathering. Like this is
Magic is so
right, but Magic is constant, or it's kind of in the state that it's in. Right, like people who are into Magic are aware the persistent thing and play nonetheless. So it's not a surprise. This is the biggest, dumbest, and worst story I've heard about Dungeons and Dragons in 30 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't think of any other thing, or I just wasn't paying attention because it didn't come across my desk outside of people not liking 4th edition, you know?
Hey, how much do you know about 4th edition?
They got very quickly over to 5.
Do you know what happened when 4th edition came out?
Not fully, I forget.
People at the company that were not happy with 4th edition left, and they made their own company, and that company was called Paizo, and that company put out Pathfinder.
Well, there you go. There you go. Right. So yeah, like it just, this is the biggest, dumbest thing they've done that I've heard about in decades. Anyway,
it's also really strange because D&D 3 and 5 used the OGL, but 4th edition used open games license that was actually similar to this, which didn't work for 4, so they rolled it back to the old one with 5.
Oh, and that's how they stayed winning, right?
Right.
Everybody wins.
We all won, guys. We all won.
I'm not owned.
I'm not owned. I'm not.
Anyways, yeah. So, good luck to those folks. Hey, well
No, not good luck to those folks. I disagree.